Well, hello, this is Kimberly Brock, and for over 20 years, I've been running my own businesses that have not only been profitable, but personally fulfilling to me. So now I'm on a mission to help other new business owners, just like you, make money doing what you love too. Now we're going to have some fun, so let's get started. Well, hello, this is Kimberly. It's episode 274, and I am so thankful that you're here today because we are talking about goals for your business and how you need to stop making these crazy, outlandish goals that may end up disappointing you when you don't achieve them at the end of the year. I have been seeing this. It's something new, and I think it's because of all the marketing that's being thrown at all of you on what you should achieve in your business, what you should be able to achieve, what's possible to achieve. Granted, I think so many things are possible. So don't think I'm being negative, but I just want to have a realistic conversation around goals for your business so that you can actually achieve them and you can feel accomplished at the end of the year. So if you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you found this podcast. Whether you are on the idea stage, starting or growing, this podcast is for you. All I want to do is help you build a fulfilling and impactful business doing what you love. And I want to help you do it in the most simple way possible. Okay. The most simple way. So here's what to do if you are new here right now and you're listening. Pay attention. I have some free resources for you. They will help you along your business journey. You can scroll down in the show notes right now. You'll see a link to my free resources. Click over to them. It will take you to my website, okay? I've got a free download, a 16-step checklist if you're starting your business, just to keep you on track. I've got an Ikigai guide. You're probably saying, what word did she just say? It's a Japanese term that means reason for being. So if you're in that idea stage, you can try to figure out like what's really my purpose? What should I be doing? Right? And then I have other free resources if you're trying to grow your new business. Maybe you've just gotten open and you're like, now what? Now what do I do? Those are for you. So scroll down right now and get those. And if you have been listening a while, thank you so much to all my loyal listeners. Y'all are amazing and awesome. Shout out to my Grow Getters and then my Binge-Worthy Bootcamp podcast members. Those of you that are starting your podcast, I'm so excited for you. And for my Grow Getters, I'm just so excited for your growth and the ways that you're showing up confidently in your business. So if you've been listening a while and you find value in this podcast, I have to ask you one question. Have you ever given this podcast a 5-star rating or even a written review? If you haven't, would you be so kind to do me that favor and write a quick review on how this podcast has helped you or how it's motivated or inspired you? And if you don't have time to do that, maybe you can just hit the 5-star rating. That would mean the world to me. I can't help but think that it tells Apple and all the players out there that this is a valuable podcast and to show it to more people like you who value this kind of content. So thank you all so much for listening. I'm just so enthralled. And also too, by the way, y'all know I have a premium version of this podcast. Did you know that right now? If you are in Apple Podcasts, you can see it. If you're not in Apple Podcasts, well, you're not going to get the memo. You're not going to be able to see it. But if you are in Apple Podcasts, there is a link at the top of this episode and every episode to become a member of the premium version of this podcast. You get to overhear one-on-one live coaching calls with me and clients. Or I guess, is that the proper English? With myself and clients? Was I supposed to say it that way? And also I have bonus episodes for you. So deeper dives into some of the topics that we're talking about. And I'm super excited about it. We've got a great base of listeners already to the premium podcast and it's brand new. And I'm just so excited about it. So make sure y'all check that out if you're on Apple Podcasts. And that is it. Okay, on to the episode. Well, hello, friends. How are you today? How's everything going with your business? I'm so excited for you. As of recording this is the beginning of 2025. This is a time that we all start thinking about our business, right? So I don't know what year you're listening to this. Maybe this podcast episode is living on. Maybe it's 2030 when you're listening to this and you're like, okay, she's talking about 2025. But you know what? This is actually timeless. This episode is actually timeless because it represents you and what you plan to achieve for the year. And I just had to do this episode because I'm seeing a lot of small business owners get to the end of the year and they are very disappointed that they have not reached goals. Now, there are some of you that have reached a lot of your goals. Like I was thinking about this year for me.
I believe it's when I started on TikTok. I may have started the year before actually, but I just kind of did videos and I had fun with it. I don't love it, but I'm having fun. It's not a lead generation tool for me. It's just something to keep maybe people that are following me engaged and reminders of me and have fun producing short form content. I did start a YouTube channel, which I was very excited about. I have not been totally zoned in on it. Y'all know that this podcast is my lead generation strategy. It is how I attract ideal people like you who are starting your business. This creates such a strong connection. And I've learned so much by starting a YouTube channel about why I love podcasting so much. Now, I'm not hating on YouTube, y'all. I actually do like YouTube. I like it and podcasting. I will tell you this from a business standpoint. I think podcasting is so much easier, takes so much less time. You don't have to put makeup on. You don't have to hire an editor to go through the complicated editing process of videos. It is just starting a podcast, y'all, is so much easier. So I've loved it, but having a YouTube channel has been a cool thing that I did. And now I can relate to my clients that are starting YouTube channels and kind of more understand what it takes and the type of content YouTube's evolving. There's a lot of short form content out. So this year I may be doing more with that. I don't know yet. I'm actually in the planning stage trying to evaluate everything from last year and what I did. And, I think it's been really cool. It's been a fun year for me. I feel much better. Y'all know I went to Mayo Clinic last year for all my stuff. So, all my health stuff since COVID. And so it's been a year of like, I don't know. 2024 was just kind of a crazy year for me. It felt good, but it was just like a lot of chaos going on and just, maybe not feeling my total best, but now I'm coming out of it. And I'm really excited for 2025. I don't know if this is how you feel. Maybe your 2024 was the most amazing year ever. And if it is, I'm so excited for you. Right. But this year we're kicking it off. We're building our businesses and, I'm really trying to focus in on my perfect niche as you need to as well. And I'm evaluating things. I'm evaluating, okay, the people that, worked with me the most, what do they all have in common? What were they looking for? What were they needing? What have I been getting the best feedback on? What was not working? Like I'm evaluating all of that. But here's the deal. When you are sitting here planning for this year ahead, I want you to be realistic about your goals. And what do I mean by being realistic? I'm meaning that you should not go off what some person on an Instagram short or you saw some quick video from some random person about what your goals should be, that you should have $1 million, that you will just manifest it and your business can make $1 million this year and that you should have 1 million subscribers and you should have a very successful podcast and you have very successful YouTube channel and that you should be killing it on TikTok and you should be on Instagram DMing everybody. And like, y'all, there's a lot of marketing being thrown at you and both of us. We are both getting targeted with marketing on things that we should be accomplishing, things that we should be doing, expectations for ourselves that if we just don't have the willpower, then that means that we stink and we can't be a successful business owner. It kind of reminds me too of people that try to lose weight. And some people just are not successful with some of the methods that are being thrown out in the world, right? They're just not. Like maybe they are being told you better be walking 5 miles a day. And they're like, but I have knee problems and ankle problems. So I'm a failure and I'm always going to be overweight because I can't go on a walk. Right. And that's not fair. That is not fair to them. And they end up feeling like a failure. Right. What they didn't have was a strategy that worked for them. Right. Something that could work for them. Maybe it's medication. Maybe it's a certain diet plan. Maybe it's cutting certain foods. Maybe it's being active. Maybe it's being more social. I mean, like there's all these factors that go into someone's health, right? And I digress, but I'm trying to give you an example. It's the same for your business, y'all. It's the same for your business. Your business is unique, just like your metabolism is unique, right? Your business is unique. Your whole genetic makeup is unique. What you have time for this season of your life is unique than probably the person sitting next to you. Now, There's a lot of people that are in certain life stages that I happen to work with. A lot of people maybe have been working for a little while and have a full-time job and are starting this business on the side, or some of them are hoping to retire soon, or some of them are hoping to quit their full-time career so they can pursue this full-time. Like, there are things that are unique to your situation. You may be taking care of elderly parents. You may have young kids at home. You may be just married. You may be moved. You may be divorced. You may be going through health issues. Like, there are so many things that make up your season of life and your circumstances that we are all not, cut from the same cloth. We all cannot have the same goals for our business. Right? You may only have so much time to work on your business per week. You may only have a couple hours a week to work on it. Right? And so what you should be doing or can be doing, or goals that you can be reaching, are different from the next person. Right? My life is changing. My daughter just started driving, y'all, like 2 months ago. I'm freaking out. I don't have to take her to dance and physical therapy and all the stuff. It's amazing. Right? So my life is shifting a little bit. Okay. And so things can look different for my business. My husband wants me to travel with him more. Okay, what does that mean for my business and my life? Like, what are the things that I'm doing? Right? I love this. I want this business. I want to be doing this. But how can I adjust? And I don't want to set myself up for any type of feeling that I'm a failure by setting goals that are too lofty for what my business is for this season of my life. So I want you to think about that right now. When you're seeing advertising being thrown at you, when you're hearing it, when you're listening to people like me, like, you may be saying, well, Kimberly, you're actually one of those people that's telling me to do stuff and maybe I shouldn't be doing it. And you're right. Maybe you shouldn't be listening to me. But I think when you're listening to people, if things resonate or not, and if they feel too lofty. I'm actually trying to ground you. I will be honest. I'm trying to keep you grounded and like thinking straight and being realistic about your goals. I have met with clients on coaching calls recently where I'm like, okay, you can do this, this, and this, but do you realize how much time that's going to take you? Do you realize the money? And are you good with that? And if you're good with that, then let's go. Right? But if you're not good with that, if you're not willing to let go of personal time, family time, or money, then maybe we can't achieve these goals right now. Maybe that's for next year. Right. And so, what I want you to do is lift the pressure off of yourself right now for what you think you should be achieving. Now, am I telling you to not have goals? No, I am not telling you to not have goals. In fact, I'm telling you to have goals, but I'm telling you to have them realistically. So, let's think about your business right now. I want you to think about it and maybe think in your head what you accomplished last year. Maybe you just started your business. Maybe you started your podcast. Maybe you started a YouTube channel. Maybe you started putting yourself out there more. Maybe you joined a network organization locally. Maybe you did your first speaking gig. Maybe you started a blog. Maybe you started showing up on Instagram and you're starting to get some activity that way. Hallelujah. Praise God. You did it. And that's awesome. Okay. Now you may be saying though, okay, that's great. Next year, I've got some goals too. I want to start a podcast or YouTube channel, or maybe you have things, or I want to start podcasting more regularly, or I want to, feel more confident next year and start showing up more places. That's great. But what I don't want you to do is say, this business has got to make $1 million next year, or I'm a failure and I'm going to have to close my business. You are going to have to look at what revenue you did last year or what things you did last year, what activities, and then increase that some for this year if you are able. Okay. Or maybe you have less time this year. Maybe you do have an elderly parent that is moving in with you or that you have to help. So you're going to have to dial things back. I don't know what you're doing, dialing it forward or back. But what I'm asking you to do today is to consider your life stage, consider your situation, consider what you are willing to do, consider the money that you have to put into this business, and then let's make goals accordingly. I just don't want you overreaching what is realistically possible. If you're saying, I want to get on 50 podcasts, I want to start having a YouTube video posted every week, then you have to ask yourself, what's the most simple form that I can do this so that I can actually achieve it? It's funny because my husband works in technology and he's a VP of sales. And every quarter they get a quota. Okay. Every quarter, I mean, really, they get a yearly quota, but quarterly they'll be looking at their quotas, right? That means the amount that his people under him have to sell, right? And so it increases every year based on market conditions, based on a whole bunch of factors that have to do with their line of business, okay? And I won't go into all that. But they come up with like an algorithm, like a calculation of how much it should grow or even not grow in certain areas because maybe they got some, freak orders that they won't get every year that were skewing the numbers. And so they can't be expected to do that exact same thing again. The scary thing is that once you have a really high number for a quota for these sales reps, and maybe they have had those like orders that have come in that are not going to be yearly, and they get a quota that's based on that, it creates low morale. If they get a quota for the following year that is based on a percentage increase from the previous year, when the previous year it wasn't just regular run rate business, it was like just, as I said, like freak orders that were just one time orders, it's very demoralizing to the people. And the same goes for you with your business. It is actually demoralizing to set such lofty goals that you can't achieve. Like maybe you could if you had a different circumstance or if you gave up your whole personal life or if you spent money getting help. There's so many things I could do in my business if I just would spend a ton of money getting help. And I've thought about it. I've actually thought about it. In fact, today I was thinking about some things. Well, I could get somebody, I could actually maybe hire some interns and give them, free access to my programs. Would y'all like that? If you have some kind of skill related to my business, like graphic design or things like that, where you could come in Grow Getters or you could come in a program. Like I've been thinking about that, but I've been thinking, how could I do it in the most cost effective way possible? So if I had an intern or I had someone that I hired that actually, that I bartered with, I've done this before, that I bartered with so that I wasn't having to fork out money because I don't know if I'm really willing to fork out a ton of money for the things that I want to achieve because I feel like there is a way, right, to achieve them. I'm also trying to set realistic goals for what's going to be happening this year, what I want to be doing, how many offers do I want to have, how many programs do I want to have, and I'm being realistic. I'm not saying I'm trying to be the number one podcaster in all of the world, and I want to have the number one, program for new business owners. I want Grow Getters to be the number one program. Now, believe me, I have aspirations and dreams for my program. And I'm looking at the numbers from last year and I'm thinking, what do I want for this year? Or for Bingeworthy, my podcasting boot camp, for people that have joined that to start their podcast. Do I want to start a program, a group program where it's just around podcasting? I mean, there's things that I'm thinking through. Right. I'm looking at all of this, but it's realistic. It's not like I have to make $1 zillion by the end of the year or I'm a failure or I have to be the number one podcaster. I have to beat out Joe Rogan or I'm a failure. So what I want you to do is be realistic. Promise me that if you feel marketing being thrown at you and you feel the pressure, like I should do this and that, and even your own marketing to yourself. Like, I think we put our own pressure, like that voice in our head is saying, well, you should be this, you should have surpassed this, you should already be here or there. It's not necessarily true. Based on what you want for your life, this couldn't happen, right? It's like someone who wants to train for an Ironman. If my husband said right now, I want to train for an Ironman and I'm going to do it by the end of the year, I'm like, okay. So do you realize the hours involved? We had a neighbor that was training for an Ironman a few years ago. He would get up. It was like exercising 3 hours a day or something crazy. So if you're willing to do that, then great. But if you're not willing to give that up, then don't set unrealistic goals for yourself that you're going to do an Ironman. Like just don't. Okay? Be realistic and say, what am I going to have to give up to do it this way? Now, the other thing is, what if we don't have to give up anything and we just do things smarter? We do things in a more simple, streamlined way. We simplify our tech. We simplify what we're offering. We simplify shows that we go to or meetings that we go to. We just simplify everything. We make everything super streamlined and easy, right? Think about that. You can make things easy on yourself and you can hit realistic goals, not lofty goals, realistic. Okay. So today, I know I'm rambling about this, but I literally can't drill this into your head enough because I'm seeing it with coaching clients that y'all feel disappointed that you aren't reaching goals. And I'm like, but you weren't willing to give up $40,000 to pay for all that, or you weren't willing to spend half a day working on your business. You have a full-time job. So it couldn't happen. So why are we disappointed? We should be excited that you made a smart decision, right? Next year, you can adjust, you can do things differently, but be cognizant of what is. Be cognizant of what your life is today so that you can set realistic goals so you can feel achieved and accomplished, and you can be proud of what you've done with your business, because I'm telling you, y'all are doing amazing things. You are balancing it all. You're doing it all. A lot of you are parents yourselves. You're taking care of parents. You've got full-time careers. You're volunteering. You're in your church. You're doing activities with your kids. You're doing sports activities. You're traveling. You're doing shows for your business. You're on social media. You're doing a million things amazingly well. And I'm so proud of you. I really am. I'm in awe of you because you're doing it. You're making it happen. Like, I even think about, how did I do it all with 3 kids, having a baby, and doing my online businesses? I mean, I was on my computer like hours after I had my 3rd child. I was laying in the hospital bed going, I cannot believe I'm dealing with orders. You know why? Because she was born on Thanksgiving Day. And do y'all know the busiest shopping day of the year? The day after Thanksgiving. So I was on my computer. I was like, how did I time this so perfectly? Like, I literally had her on Thanksgiving at like 8:30 at night. And then I was on the computer at like 11 or 12 when they took her out of the room, and then they brought her back in, and then I had to get off the computer. Like, y'all, this is real life. Be proud of where you are. Be cognizant and aware of what is, that your situation is temporary. You are in a season. It will change. And set goals this year for yourself that are realistic. Let's be real. I still want you to stretch. I still want you to be uncomfortable. I still want you to go for things. But I also want you to feel accomplished and realize what you can do and what you are doing. And I'm so proud of you. So that's it. If you're here today and you would love one-on-one coaching, I know I was just talking about that, but I've been doing more one-on-one coaching again because people need it. Y'all are short on time and you need quick help. You can scroll down in the show notes below, and I've got a link, and you can sign up for one-on-one coaching with me, whether it's for your business, maybe you're starting, maybe you've just opened and you're like, okay, how do I do this? How do I start attracting people regularly so that I can have buyers consistently? Okay, we can work on that. And then also, if you're starting a podcast, I'd love to help you with all of that and get it going. Or maybe you've already started your podcast, but you want to make sure you're generating leads from it and getting customers and clients. Reach out. I would love to chat with you. Also, too, if you have not applied yet, I do some free coaching calls with the premium podcast. They are recorded. They will be aired on the premium podcast. Some people love that and they don't care. They don't mind having their episode aired, their coaching call. I do mini coaching sessions. They're like 15 to 30 minutes. But if that's not for you, let's do a private like power hour, an hour. Let's hash everything out. Clients of mine bring lists, like Google Doc lists of things they want to go through, and we just knock it all out. So that's it. Y'all have a great day. I'm so excited for this year, and I'm so excited for where this journey is taking. That's it. Y'all have a great day. Bye now.
Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.